So, what if I told you that the reason 95% of traders fail has almost nothing to do with their strategy? Yeah, we've gone through 9 hours of expert trading advice to find the one thing that truly separates the winners from everyone else. And honestly, the answer is probably not what you're thinking.
Let's kick things off with something that might just change how you see the whole game. We've all heard that scary stat, right? That 95% of traders fail. But what if that's not really the truth? The reality is, they don't fail, they give up. They just walk away before they've even given themselves a real shot to learn from the mistakes that, let's be honest, everyone makes at the beginning. Okay, so that leads to the big question, doesn't it? What's the real difference maker? If it's not some secret indicator or a hidden strategy that everyone's desperately searching for, what is it that separates the people who stick with it from those who just walk away? Well, it's something much, much deeper.
And to really get it, we have to start by looking at the most common pitfall. It's this mental trap that gets the vast majority of traders and causes them to wash out before they even get going.
Here's the core issue. Most people come into trading with totally wrong expectations, and because of that, the wrong goals. They jump in thinking it's a get-rich-quick button, and when that doesn't happen in a week, they get hit with this wave of frustration and burnout, and that's what leads them to quit. All right, so if that's the trap, how do you sidestep it? It all comes down to making a fundamental shift in your mindset. I mean, completely redefining why you're even sitting down in front of the charts in the first place. So first things first, you have to redefine your main goal. Your goal is not to make money. That's just a byproduct. The real goal, the actual skill you're trying to build, is to get good at predicting with a high probability where the price is going to go next. The money, that's just the side effect. It's the reward you get for mastering the actual skill. And just look at the difference this makes. It's night and day. When you're just chasing money, it leads you straight into all the bad habits. Overtrading, making emotional mistakes, revenge trading, all the stuff that loses you money. But when you shift your focus to the skill of prediction, it naturally creates patience, better decision-making, and consistency. The money follows the skill, you see, not the other way around.
So this changes everything, right? Suddenly, trading isn't a casino or a lottery ticket. It's a craft. It's a professional skill that, just like being a carpenter or a musician, requires deliberate, focused, and honestly relentless practice to get good at. The source we're pulling from uses this great analogy. Picture two construction workers. They're both given the same top-of-the-line tools and the exact same perfect blueprint for a house. Now, one guy is a total rookie. It's his first day. The other guy, he's built 1,000 houses. Who's going to build the better house? It's obvious, right? It's not the tools that matter, it's the repetition. And this is how you actually build that skill. First, you get the blueprint. That's your strategy. Then, you build your first house, and it's probably going to be pretty bad. That's okay, because you learn from your mistakes. And then comes the most important part. You do it again and again and again, thousands of times, until the whole process is just second nature. And all that relentless practice, it starts to form your habits. It really is these little day-to-day choices stacked on top of each other over time that end up separating the winners from everybody else in this game. This slide, man, this says it all. The unprofitable trader is an information junkie. They're drowning in conflicting advice from 10 different mentors. They're constantly hopping from one holy grail strategy to the next. Their focus is always on learning more. But the profitable trader, they do the exact opposite. They find one mentor, one strategy, and they pour all their energy into one thing and one thing only, practicing more. So the huge takeaway here is that a solid foundation isn't built on getting more information. It's built on simplification and just focused execution. But this is exactly where almost everyone trips up. They get stuck in this brutal cycle of analysis paralysis. They'll look at the weekly chart and go, okay, clearly bearish, got it. But then they'll zoom into the daily chart and see a bullish pattern and think, oh, wait, but the daily is bullish. And now they're just completely frozen, buried in conflicting signals. And then, to make things even worse, they'll try to remember what 3 different guys on YouTube said about this exact situation. And it just leads to total confusion, and they end up doing nothing. So what's the answer? It's almost painfully simple. You have to simplify, cut through all that noise, pick one approach, one process, and just stick with it. Simplicity is your absolute best weapon against all that confusion.
Our source really just puts it bluntly. Most aspiring traders are overthinkers and underdoers. The problem isn't that you don't know enough, it's that you're not doing enough. People get stuck just consuming and analyzing instead of practicing and executing. Real success is found in the doing.
And this whole idea of doing brings us to the real secret. If it's not about the strategy, what's the one thing that will keep you in the game long enough to actually succeed? Look, the ultimate edge isn't some complex indicator or a hidden chart pattern. It's the simple dedication to show up every single day and do the work. It's the consistency to follow your plan, even when it's boring. And maybe most importantly, it's having a genuine passion for the process itself, for the challenge. I mean, think about it. If you don't actually love the process, solving the puzzle of the charts, mastering your own psychology, embracing that whole journey of getting better, you're just not going to make it. You won't have the stamina for the thousands of hours it takes to get great. Passion is the fuel that keeps you going. And so that's the one question you really need to answer for yourself. Forget the money for a second. Are you genuinely fascinated by this puzzle? Do you love the game? Because in the end, your answer to that one question is probably the single biggest predictor of whether you'll succeed or not.